Hello and good evening and welcome to my impromptu online book signing. Even though there is no book signing as such, there is a new book, Dr. COVID Universe, and I better not cover one eye because people will get the wrong idea. They'll think I'm some kind of Freemason or something like that. So I've got my new book here, and I promised I'd do a bit of a reading from it. What can I say? It's a little kind of comic book in three parts. The first part is introducing the world to Dr. COVID and Dr. COVID to the world. The second part is all about meeting the COVIDs. Who are the COVIDs? The magic variants. And the final part is all about the jabba dabba doo. So I just thought I'd read you just a little bit for anybody who's interested, who's not yet seen my crazy little world of Dr. COVID, which is not so crazy really when you think about it. The world is crazy. My art is pure sanity. And so I thought I'd read you a little bit of part two, just to get you interested. Okay, so part two, meet the COVIDs. It's like Jack and Ori, isn't it, this? So anyway, not long after the masses had gathered in every city of the world to protest against Dr. COVID's rules and lockdowns, he invited his cousins, twins actually, from South Africa and Brazil to help continue with his plans to build a tyrannical clownland on Earth. Of course, I've introduced that earlier on in the book. COVID knew his believers would love to see the magic variants and their magic. Like the Hanson twins of the popular 70s movie Slapshot, now I'm showing my age for all those people that remember, the magic variant twins were introduced to the game with perfect timing, so to get more and more people to accept further erosions of freedoms. The magic variants would inspire more lockdowns, help usher in the green passport ID and advance the mass vaccination program pursued by GOH and the followers of Dr. COVID. The doctor's cousins just appeared out of nowhere one day on television in every living room. Dr. Masshypnosis, another character I introduced earlier, announced their names to the world in late 2020. There was Scary COVID, Saki Samba COVID, and both were presented to those in the UK as riding on a big third wave across the ocean. As the wave crashed on the shores of the UK, Scary COVID landed in Kent with his own special powers of voodoo. There's Scary COVID. Meanwhile, Saki COVID seemed to come and go dancing to the 80s tune Turning Japanese by the Vapors. I'll show you Saki Samba COVID. Oh, there's Long COVID. I'm coming to that in a minute. Okay. Here we had a fantastic four. We had Dr. COVID, Scary COVID, Saki Samba COVID, and Dr. COVID's only child, Long COVID. Okay. Long COVID didn't know who he was or who she was or where he or she came from, and it was like freak of nature. Long COVID lingered on in the television minds of those who had fallen under Dr. COVID's spells, his mind magic. Scary COVID, also known as Alpha E48K, had amazing superpowers. He could change shape, sometimes appear in his usual form as a witch doctor, and or sometimes as the doctor himself. His voodoo easily infected the minds of those who worshipped all things COVID. So much so that just the thought of Scary had people wearing masks at home while on Zoom. Just think about that. It's true. Scary COVID could also stay hidden if he chose to, often hiding so well that in a moment of clarity caused by deep, maskless breaths, anyone with a sound mind might think he didn't exist at all. Little Long COVID looked up to Scary COVID. like a child looks up to a grandparent. And he tried to be like him when it came to scaring humans. Long COVID didn't really know what gender he was. And that's why Build Back Better gave him 3 breasts, so he could stand out amongst the COVID family. When assembled, you could say the COVIDs are a close-knit extended family like the Addams family. Both Scary and Saka were summoned just at the right time in late 2020 to keep the population fearful and ready for consecutive waves and lockdowns and further loss of freedoms. Yet it was Dr. COVID's distant cousin, Barbara Kali Curry COVID, otherwise known as Delta, who appeared out of nowhere in April 2021 to cause more panic in Clownland. I'll show you him, her, it. Okay, I must continue. Hold on. So, Barbara Kali, a mystical double-headed figure, could levitate using a special third wave of energy, enabling him to magically fly to the UK and elsewhere. Just the thought of meeting Barbara Kali Curry COVID would have folk in tears. In the traffic light system, of course. They'd have them stockpiling, loo rolls, and immediately under house arrest. Barbara Kali COVID would be to India what Dr. COVID's arrival was to China. He would be, or it would be, a major excuse for a possible 4th and future lockdown globally. Barber's double mind powers were strong, with the talk of him being able to manifest more variants, especially a Yorkshire pudding scary gnome variant. I've been having fun, you know, this is the winter, this is getting locked down in the winter is what it does to you. Yeah. So one of the main reasons why Scary and Saka and Baba were conjured out of nowhere was to persuade those who didn't like the idea of Dr. COVID's vaccine to go get the jab, or else there would be no holidays abroad. Now, people were terrified of not being able to drink warm beer and do the conga dance with their mates on a night out in Costa del Clown. For some Covidians, doing the conga abroad was more important than fighting medical tyranny. Many were tempted with freebies for having what is a medical procedure, the jab. Dr. Mass Hypnosis spewed out of televisions every day the same mantra that tests done so far suggest that vaccines would protect against serious infection, but perhaps they wouldn't stop the virus from spreading. As Clownland absorbed the doctor's subliminal messages, Scary and Sack and Barber were used to terrify those who had already received the mark, with never-ending restrictions to living a normal life again. Everyone just wanted to go back to normal, but little did they realise that normal was not coming back to what had become a cult like Clownland. That's enough. Anyway, thank you for listening to my my little story, and to for those that have already got a copy, thank you. Yeah, this is it really. It's a mad world. COVID is a mad world out there, and there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. There will be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel after 2022, I'm sure. So, thanks for listening, and yeah, I will see you soon. Okay, bye.